1 John 4:1. Do not believe every spirit. Test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. That's not my opinion. That's the standard the word itself sets. So let's test. I want to start by saying I'm not here to attack a person. I'm here to do the thing the word says we should always do. 1 John 4:1, test the spirits, not ignore them, not celebrate them blindly, check them against what is true. So let's talk about the tongues, because Acts 2 is where the doctrine starts. And when you read it carefully, not through what traditions filter, but through the text itself, a picture starts to form. Acts 2 verse 4 through 11. The crowd heard them speaking in their own native languages, Parthians, Medes, Elamites, known human languages. That's what the text describes, not ecstatic syllables. Not sounds the speaker generates themselves. 1 Corinthians 14, Paul addresses the disorder that was creeping into Corinth with their misuse of the gift. Verse 27, if anyone speaks in a tongue, 2 or at most 3 should speak one at a time, and someone must interpret. Verse 28, if there is no interpreter, the speaker should keep quiet in the church. Now I need you to read that next time you're in a room where 40 people are simultaneously speaking words no one can explain. Paul also writes in verse 22, tongues are a sign, not for believers, but for unbelievers. So when the practice is performed exclusively among insiders, ask yourself if it aligns with what the text delivers. Now Hebrews 1:1-2. In the past, God spoke to our ancestors through the prophets at many times and in various ways. But in these last days, He has spoken to us by His Son. That word spoken, past tense. The revelation is done. The canon is closed. Revelation 22:18 makes this plain. If anyone adds anything to them, God will add to that person the plagues described in this scroll. So when the prophet stands and says, God told me something new, the question isn't, does he seem sincere? The question is, does the word support the claim? Deuteronomy 18:20-22. God set the standard early. If what a prophet proclaims does not take place, he has spoken presumptuously. One false prophecy, one was the disqualification. Not a warning, not a redirect removal. But in the modern charismatic stream, we've created a culture where false prophecies are walked back, reinterpreted, excused. That's not the biblical standard. That's a different standard that we invented. I want to be careful here, because I understand the hunger to experience God, to feel that He is near, to want more than a cold intellectual faith. That hunger is legitimate, I want to be clear. But 1 Corinthians 13:8 says, where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. The completeness, the word is here, and the word is living and active. Hebrews 4:12 confirms it, sharper than a double-edged sword, piercing to the marrow. You want an encounter with the living God, stay in it. The problem isn't that we want to feel His presence. The problem is we've replaced His word with feelings as the measure. And when experience becomes the test of what is true, we've shifted the foundation from the scripture to the seeker. Matthew 7:15, watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will know them, not by their charisma, not by the size of the crowd, not by the signs they claim to show. I'm not saying every person in these movements is dishonest. I'm saying the framework we built invites deception, and when feelings override the word and prophecy goes untested, the door is open, and the wolves have always been. The Bereans were called noble. Why? Acts 17:11. They received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if what Paul said was true. They fact-checked an apostle against the word. That's the standard, that's the motto, that's the call. Not blind deference to a platform or a title, but a people who are anchored to the scripture above all. So test the spirits, that's not cold religion. That's the love of God protecting what He's built. He gave us His sufficient word for a reason, and the greatest act of faith is trusting that it's filled with everything we need. 2 Timothy 3:16-17. All scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, training in righteousness, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. Thoroughly equipped. Everything we need is already here.